Thank you to VOS for sponsoring this video.
Is there really a perfect way to organize our phones? Hi! Welcome back to my channel. A couple of weeks ago, I decided to upgrade from my iPhone 8 Plus to the iPhone 12 Pro Max. Over the past weeks of using it, I have developed a few tricks, a few strategies to make my phone a productive tool rather than a distraction. I'm gonna be honest, I use my phone a lot. In fact, I don't think I can ever live without my phone because I use my phone to message people, respond to emails, check announcements, and basically every important aspect of my life I have learned to manage on my phone. So in this video, aside from showing you what is on my phone, which can be fun, interesting, and exciting, I also wanted to share how I try to maintain a healthy relationship with my phone as a tool for productivity. So unboxing out of the way, let us begin. On my homepage, I have 5 widgets. I call this page my self-care and time management hub because I keep this as a distraction-free zone. The first widget that I have is from Pinterest, which changes every day. So in my case, I get a new quote every day. You can also change which of your boards you want to display and how frequent the changes are. For me, this is very motivating because I look at my phone with a new line of motivation, affirmation, or encouragement every day. Next is a Headspace widget. I only ever use this when I'm meditating or when I want to feel a sense of calm in my very busy day. Speaking of self-care, one application that I would like to honorably mention is VOS. VOS is a new self-reflection and mental health app that helps me and you to become better versions of ourselves, be aware of our emotions, and also to maintain our mental health. I love using self-care applications. When a new application is made available, I am always eager to try it out, and I'm always hopeful that it fits my lifestyle and my needs. I believe that self-care applications like VOS grounds yourself and reminds you that you need to take time for yourself amidst your very busy schedule. I'm gonna show you some of the features that I love and cherish about VOS. Every day, you receive a question where you can dump your thoughts and express your ideas. When you have a tornado of thoughts swirling in your head, these questions are especially helpful to capture these abstract thoughts and to declutter your mind. Aside from that, you receive an everyday notification to track your mood, to track how you're feeling for that day. This is especially helpful for me because it reminds me that I need to take a few minutes of my time to just focus on myself and to reflect on how the day went. I love this feature. I think this is my favorite out of all their features. VOS is available worldwide in more than 8 languages, and it has a free version for all of you to try out and also a premium version to connect your data and see the bigger picture of your life. VOS was developed with mental health professionals, so it is an effective tool to increase your productivity, feel better, and get in touch with your inner self. So if you're interested to try out VOS, I will have the link in the description box below. Moving on to my next widget, I have a habit tracker, which is pretty self-explanatory. These are not all of my habits. I like to keep my habits here as minimal as I can because some of my habits are already instinctive. Next, I have a small widget for my time tracking app, Forest. This is what I use to time my Pomodoro sessions and also to keep me away from using my phone when I'm studying. Another time tracking app is Waves. I've talked about this app in one of my past videos, so if you're interested to watch that, you can click the card up here. I wasn't really a huge fan of time blocking until recently. Before, I used to just list down my tasks, my to-do lists, and I would allocate the entire day to finish all those tasks. Now, I've learned to allocate a certain time block for a certain task. This helps me to manage my efforts far more effectively and also to avoid switching from one task to another. Over the past weeks of time blocking, I realized that it has helped me accomplish more. I am telling you this honestly because I couldn't even express how happy I am to have tried time blocking. I am on top of my tasks, I am motivated, I am productive, and I am focused now more than ever. So if you have haven't tried out time blocking, I suggest you do so because it might just save your academic life for good. Moving on to my next page, this is my productivity hub. Everything that concerns work or academic life, I place them here. First, I have a smart stack widget that contains my calendar and Gmail. Together with Notion, these are two of my most used apps. Recently though, I've been using my calendar to block my time, but I'm still in the process of getting to know how iCal works with time blocking and if it works for me. One thing that I would like to mention about Gmail is its ability to label emails and categorize them into tags. This feature has made looking for emails much easier because I can just look through a specific subject that I had in the past semesters and all of my emails about that subject are already laid out. I also have a widget for Notion because this application has helped me organize and manage my personal, academic, and work life. I won't go in depth with Notion in this video because I've already made a video on my Notion workspace, so if you're interested to see what my Notion workspace looks like, you can also click the card up here. Moving on to the next section of this page, I have a bunch of folders. Now here's the thing, I know that there's an app library that comes with this new iOS update, but I don't really like how my applications are sorted there, so I took control over how my applications are categorized. First, I have a folder for university applications. So every application that concerns my academic life, I place them here. I use Canvas as our online classroom. As you can see, my courses are also color-coded so that it's easier to identify them. Next, I have Safari, which is for regular browsing or researching, Zoom for online meetings and synchronous sessions. I only use Zoom on my phone when I need to multitask because I mostly use Zoom on my laptop. Next, I have Google Docs, which I use in case I can't use my laptop at the moment and I need to edit a certain document. Next is Google Sheets, which is a great alternative to Microsoft Excel. Next is Google Drive, which is what I use to store all of my documents and files online so that they won't take up the storage that I have on my laptop and on my phone. I also have Google Calendar, which I only ever use in case I needed to schedule an event or a meeting that needs to be coordinated with other people because Google Calendar makes it easier to send updates and reminders. I also have Notes, which I use to brain dump any idea that I have or any note that I don't need at the moment but I might need in the near future. Next, I have the Reminders app, which is what I used to list down my to-do lists before, but I don't really use it that much nowadays since I have Notion and iCal. Next, I have Canva, which again, I have on my phone in case I don't have my laptop at the moment and I needed to edit a presentation. Canva has a lot of templates that you can choose from, ranging from infographics, social media posts, logos, posters, brochures, and many more. Next, I have Microsoft Lens, which is my go-to scanner for when I needed to scan a document and I'm lazy enough to use my actual scanner. Next is Pocket, which is an application to store your to-read articles. So when I'm reading an article on my laptop and for some reason I decided to read it on my phone the following day, I can save it through Pocket so I don't lose the article. The next folder that I have concerns applications for work. YT Studio is what creators use to monitor their video analytics and respond to comments. Camera Connect is what I use to export the photos and videos that I took from my camera. I use voice memos to record for a presentation and sometimes even as a mic for filming my videos. I use Pinterest to look for inspirations and also to create boards of my own. I have already created a few pins on my account, although I haven't updated it yet. So if you're interested for some creative inspiration, you can head over to my account. The next three applications are just for my finances. The next folder that I have has applications for health and lifestyle. I don't really look at health that much because I avoid coming to the realization of how unhealthy I am, but I still keep it here in case I miraculously decide to be healthy one day. Next is VOS, which is a self-care application that I've talked about a while ago and that I adore and treasure a lot. Next is Flow, which is a period tracker. Now, this is the only period tracker that has worked for me. I have tried other applications, but they don't seem to predict my cycle accurately. Next is Nike Training, which has a lot of home workouts that you can try out, especially now that we're still working and studying from home. So you can browse through their workouts, targeting a specific area of your body or any workout of interest to you. The last application that I have for health and lifestyle is Zombies Run. Here's the thing, running. I don't like running, but I love zombies. I used to use this last year when I still had the motivation to work out, but ever since the pandemic started, I just never had the motivation to do so. But what this does is it basically pushes you to run the extra mile through a series of missions which you can hear the narration of. So it's basically an immersive running game. The next folder that I have, which I try my best to steer away from, is my entertainment folder. The reason why I try to avoid this folder is because even if I intend to just spend 30 minutes here, it ends up taking 2 hours more of my time. So I have YouTube, Netflix, from which I can only ever watch Grey's Anatomy because I can't seem to watch any other show because of how busy I am with school. TikTok, which is a danger to my time management. Spotify and Shazam, which I use in case I needed to find a title of a specific song. Moving on to my next set of folders, the first one that I have is for my social media. I have phone, FaceTime, and contacts. Instagram, which I am still pretty new to, so if you haven't followed me there yet, make sure you do so. I also have Telegram, Discord, and Snapchat. Honestly, I don't really use social media platforms that much because I spend most of my time studying, so I don't really have the time to scroll around, and most of the time that I spend on social media is just to message people. My media folder contains all the applications that I use for photo and video editing. First, of course, the usual camera. Next is Google Photos, which I use to back up photos from my phone and from my drive. This saves me the storage that I could have easily spent otherwise when I don't back up my photos. I try my best to back up my photos weekly, but of course, that depends on my workload. Next is Lightroom, which is what I use to edit my photos and my thumbnail. I just use this to add a little bit of warmth and color to my photos. Next is Photoshop Express, which I don't really use that much because I often use Photoshop on my laptop. Next is Snapseed, which is another photo editing application. The tools here are pretty straightforward, so if you're looking for an on-the-go editing application on your phone, this is great. One of the tools that I love to use here is the expand tool, which basically fills in the perimeters of your photos in case you want a larger area. Next, I have Boomerang and Fuji. Fuji is a disposable film camera that instantly develops your photos right after you take the photo and while you're still in the app. Next is Tezza, which has a lot of great filters that you can use. If you're looking for a photo and video editing application that has one of the best filters out there, I suggest use Tezza. The next application that I have is the 8mm camera, which has a bunch of vintage filters that you can use when taking a photo or filming a video. The 1998 cam also works the same way in that it provides you with a bunch of vintage filters. InShot, Fonto, and PixArt are also photo editing applications, but instead of just adding filters, these applications allow you to add stickers, text, and overlays on your photos. The next application that I have is Prequel, which has a bunch of filters and presets that you can use. Remini, which allows you to unblur your photos. Which you can use to lay out your photos for Instagram. And the last application that I have here is Visco, which is everyone's typical photo editing application. The next folder that I have basically contains all of the food and clothing shopping applications that I have, and my last folder is just for applications that I need but I don't really use that often. Lastly, on my dock, I have 4 of my most used applications, which are Messages, Facebook, Messenger, and Twitter. So those are all of the applications that I have on my iPhone 12 Pro Max. If you have your own organization system for your phone, I would be more than happy to hear them in the comments below. Thank you so much for sticking around. You guys are the best, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!